Yeah, I'm doing another one of these videos already. I know it's a bit too soon for that, but the thing is, I don't really care. Now, I'm going to talk about Maximus 2 PvP, as I have a lot of interesting feelings about it. I'm not going to get into the specifics of what Maximus 2 PvP is right now. I'll do that later in the video. But what I do want to talk about is what Maximus 2 PvP isn't. I don't think Maximus 2 PvP, from a marketing standpoint, is the best thing ever, as people have been asking for Maximus 2 PvP for a while now, and they weren't asking for this. That being said, I think that this is the right decision, what Maximus 2 PvP is doing, for the simple fact that I've played, versus modes in previous traditional beat-em-ups, and they are kind of atrocious. Like, versus modes in normal beat-em-ups are not fun, at all. They get boring very quickly. So I think trying to take this into a different direction is a good idea, even if it's not what the fan base particularly asked for. I don't know if the ideas in Maximus 2 PvP are good or bad as of now, as they're quite different to anything that's existed in FF games prior, so it's hard to say if they're a good or bad thing. It's just that they're a very different thing, and that's a good thing, I guess. Well, now I'm going to talk about what M2 PvP actually is. Essentially what it is a siege mode, like, Port Pig from BM2, or, the actual siege mode from M2, where both sides are equal. Each player has a different side, enemy spawns, And I think that's interesting. It's essentially an RTS game, kind of like Smite. But, yeah, that's what it is. Now, here's the main question. Do I think that this gameplay mode is a good idea inherently, just because it's better than, a traditional PvP mode in M2? Do I think this idea is good inherently and should exist just because a normal PvP mode wouldn't work? The answer to that question is I have literally no idea. PvP in BM2 was a mode that I really, really liked, but a lot of other people didn't. It's overall pretty popular, but a lot of people don't like PvP in BM2, and Dungeons is the exact reverse of that. A lot of people like Dungeons, I personally don't. I feel like PvP and Dungeons are both liked overall, but there's a bunch of people who don't like one or the other. And I have literally no idea how I'm gonna like the PvP mode in M2. It's drastically different from anything that's existed in any FF game prior, so I have literally no idea if it works. Smite is of a completely different genre than M2, so, comparing it to that's kind of silly. It's just, what the fundamental is, but, that doesn't mean it'd work in one and not work in the other, or the other way around. I'm not particularly fond of Smite, but that doesn't mean that same concept won't work in M2. No idea. We'll see, is the point. But, yeah, that's just kind of what I wanted to talk about in this video, is the fact that it's not a traditional PvP mode. Because I guarantee a lot of people are going to be pissed about that. But I honestly think it's the better decision to do this, or something different than a traditional PvP mode, as M2 PvP is not a thing that would work. Again, Castle Crashers PvP, or any PvP mode from a traditional beat-em-up, is atrocious. So I think the devs made the correct decision here in trying something different. We just have to wait and see if this works or not. Also, the mode's got Forest in it from Rise of the Grunts, so that's pretty cool.